Hey everybody, it's me, Mama D. Welcome to another Sunday night, a conversation with friends. And my friend this evening is Mandy Masters. She is an amazing lady from the UK. She's had so many bumps in her life. It's like, wow. She wrote a book about it. She is just sweet as can be. So I want everybody to welcome my new friend, Miss Mandy Masters. Hey, Mandy.
Hello. Thank you for asking me to come on.
Can you hear me there?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. We've got a little bit of a time delay here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on.
It was working fine, wasn't it?
I know. All right, hang on a second. I'm going to see if I can get it on my Facebook and see if I see it because then I'll know. We do have 3 people watching. Yay!
Hey, hello.
Okay. So you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you?
Yeah, okay. Well, I was born thalidomide, and if you don't know what that is, I mean, some people do, some people don't.
Mhm.
I was born without arms. Obviously, my mum took the drug because she couldn't sleep. So, my mum pushed me forward to use my toes, and my toes are like your fingers, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, everything, that I do. I do with my toes, and I must say I do things very well. And the book, the reason I decided to do the book was,
Cute.
and look at that. I was about 9 months old and holding a pen in my toes, you see. So if that's not a sign, and I thought that made a very good book cover. Um,
Yeah, it
and
did.
obviously, yeah, people know me as Mandy Masters.
Mm.
I don't like being called a medium. I really hate being called a medium. I just am a spiritual connector from Essex. And, people obviously wondered, how did I cope growing up without arms? And I just thought, well, I'll do a book. And I was quite honest in that book to
Yeah.
how my life was, and I was a rebel, really, as you
She
know.
was. You seriously have to read this book. It is you were you were you were a rebel, and that was putting it nicely. But you know what? I think we all went through that stage. But everybody would think that, oh my gosh, she's got physical disabilities. No, 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 no. It's like, that doesn't stop us. You
No,
know?
no. My mum always encouraged me to use my toes, and she'd always say to me, never say you can't, never say never.
Hmm.
Um, I just was so determined to live a better, like a normal life, a better life, being
Yeah.
normal, really. Um, and it's really, people that don't understand disabilities, it's the ones that, can be a bit ignorant, that you have to let them see what you can do. And before I became, a connector with spirit, I used to do talks at schools, telling the young ones to how I coped with life, even colleges, going to colleges and talking to people there. And I was always into makeup and hair. And I used to do demonstrations to how I would do makeup, hair, even cut hair.
Yeah, because you were a
When
hairdresser for a while.
Yeah, I was a beautician. I used to do a lot of makeup for people, and obviously done some TV where the TV would come into my home and they'd get me to do a presenter up. And you know what? I went to a disabled place once it was like a day centre,
Hmm.
and I wanted the women, and there were young girls there as well. I wanted them to just be able to put a little bit of makeup on, because, you know, sometimes people with disabilities don't bother. And I wanted to show them, just by even putting a little bit of lipstick on, it can make you feel good.
Yeah.
So they asked if I would do this blind lady. Now, I didn't tell this blind lady that she would be having feet doing her makeup.
Okay.
And I was doing her makeup and, you know, putting the foundation and also doing the hair. And at the end of it, they asked her how it felt. And she said, oh, it was lovely. It was lovely. And they said, you do know that they were toes. And she couldn't believe it. She could not believe that the makeup and the doing of the hair was done by toes. You know, so it was, yeah, it was nice that my toes are not ugly, heavy toes.
Well, because you were doing it from childhood, you were born like that. So that's the first thing you used was your toes.
Yeah.
And your parents wouldn't like say, no, I'll do it for you, like coddle you. They would help you to get your own things using your feet, using your toes. So it's just like any other child who learns to get up and walk and use their hands with a spoon or whatever, you know, you had to use your toes. So for you it was normal.
Yes, exactly. And people say to me, oh, do you miss your arms? And I say, well, I've never had them, so I wouldn't miss them. I've never had them.
Yeah.
Yes, I did wear artificial arms. I did go through training to wear them, but I just felt it was like being a robot. Do you know what I mean? It was,
Yeah.
they were just, you know, I wasn't happy wearing them.
No, because
and
that
to me,
wasn't you.
yeah, you know, I just thinking, well, you know, I gave them up a long time ago. But growing up, I mean, the thing that really changed me was having a car adapted.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, I could not believe that I'd be able to drive. And I think that's when the rebel in me came in.
Was that little
Because
red car? Hang on a second. Was that little red car?
my little red Mini Clubman.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. And oh my God, once I passed my test, I used to cram all my friends into the car and we used to drive up to Liverpool. I used to drive everywhere and go out clubbing, and it gave me independence. It gave me freedom, you know, and I felt like a normal person. I'd get in that car and I'd drive, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. And I also think, obviously, this spiritual side, I've always felt that I was different in another way, not because of having the arms, but just from an early age, you know, from going way, way back and hearing voices. And at 14, I went to Lourdes in France.
Nice.
Is a really holy place, and that's when things really started happening for me. But I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell my mum till I was about 16, because I thought I was going a bit cuckoo, really.
Yeah, and especially that teenage years, people are, you know, like you feel you want to fit in for so many other reasons, and there's something else that's going on. It's like people already are just accepting me, and if I'm gonna tell them I'm hearing voices, they're gonna like, yeah.
But yeah, I did mention it to my mum when I was 16, and she just said to me, you know, spirit world will never hurt you, you know. And I'd say, oh, I don't want it. But I felt that every 2 years they would come back and probably try and get me to work with them. And I just, all I wanted to do was to be this normal girl growing up, to find a good looking guy or hubby and to have children. That's all I wanted to do. And I did do that. I did conquer that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's what every
yeah,
it's what every woman wants.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, so really, I always visualized my life, it's like making a cake, and every time I achieved something, I would do it as if it was a tier, like you put another tier on a cake. And I always said that becoming like a mother was amazing, you know, to become a mum. And obviously finding Wayne, and I mean, we've been married come next year 40 years, which will be a Ruby. And I only ever wanted two girls, you know, I only ever wanted two daughters. And see, being pregnant, that was the hospital just wanted to make so much fuss. Like, first of all, they wanted me to have a cesarean, which my mum said, but why? You've not even given her a chance to have a normal birth. And their excuse was, you know, oh, she won't be able to hold her legs up. Well, my mum was such a strong person, and she said, but you've got to give her that chance. Yeah. So they did. And I gave birth naturally to both my daughters. Yeah. And then they wanted to put my bed, my hospital bed, the mattress on the floor. And I'm thinking, but why? And, you know, the babies used to be in, like, we used to call them fish tanks, the little glass. Yeah. I used to always get my babies out before they'd come, and I would breast, because they said I wouldn't be able to breastfeed either, but I did. Mm-hmm. And I'd get them up early and get them dressed, and, you know, they'd say, oh, who's come and dressed your baby? Who's done them bows up? And I'd say, like, it's me, and they just couldn't visualize how I could be doing this. Yeah. I do wish I'd made a video at the time, because they did ask me. They said, would I do some sort of video, because they have so many mothers that moan and groan and say they can't do this and can't do that. And at that time, you know, I didn't want to be in the public eye. I didn't want anybody doing video. But I wish I had now, because at that time we didn't have disposable nappies, so we'd have pins to do up, wouldn't we? It would be the terry nappy. I remember those. Yeah, and, you know, to be able to do them and then put that big pin in. Mm-hmm. You know, so yeah, that's a little regret. I'm thinking I shouldn't have been stubborn. I should have said, you know what, come and film me. Yeah. Yeah, but you were still young, and you still wanted your life to be quote unquote normal, you know. Yeah. And it's like that wasn't for you, that at that time you weren't thinking about what you can do to help other people. It was like, I need my life. I've got to focus on my children, my husband, and this is the thing. So, but now that the kids are all grown up, and it's like, oh, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Hindsight is 20/20. But I think you are a good role model to a lot of people, not just with people with kite nappies. My friend's caught in this cat. Nappies, yes. There you go. Yeah. And go ahead. You know, the cherry on the top of my cake was having grandchildren. You know, I've got 8 beautiful grandsons. Both my girls had 4 boys each. So oh goodness! So you eventually got the boys, but not as your children, because you only want a girl. Thank you. Yeah. And you know, when I was born, you think the doctors said to my mum, you know, we can take her away and you get on with your life, because my mum had other children. There was 4 of them. I was the 5th child. Okay. And you know, they said, oh, she'll never be able to do things. She probably won't walk. You know, she'll probably be like a cabbage, and you're only probably going to have her till she's 19. Won't get married, no children. And so it was all like bleak things. Yeah. But no, my mum wasn't having that. Do you know what I mean? Both took me home. Yeah. And yeah, I wanted to prove that, you know, I have achieved everything them doctors said. Yeah, my dear mum. Look at that cheeky little face. I know. There is one where I'm quite sort of pulling a sad face, and I said to her, why am I sad? And she went, you were being photographed all day by the papers. And she said, you'd had enough. She said, you'd had enough at the end. But, you know, to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, on the back of my book, there's a picture of me standing on my own 2 feet at 9 months old. There you go. You know, so them doctors, when they said I'd never walk, I mean, how I crawled. My
I
mum
mean,
said I used to,
your mom must have wanted to go back and go to the doctors going, yeah, see what she can
yeah,
do.
yeah. And, I think a lot of thalidomides, it's not just me, a lot of thalidomides, they became very strong
Yeah.
people. I think there's some with no arms and legs, and we are a strong family, really, because we had to survive. We had to do things differently.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then, obviously, after having my children, then I decided to. I got intrigued in tarot cards. I must admit, I got intrigued in tarot cards, and I used to like going to watch clairvoyance evenings. And it
Okay.
was really strange because I'd be sitting in the audience and I'd hear this voice, and this voice would say to me, "You're going to be doing that one day. You'll be on that stage." And in my head, I'm saying, "Yeah, right, whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
you know, because but in my journey and allowing the wonderful gift that I've been given, it changed me. It really did change me for the better, because
Yeah.
I do think when I was younger, I did have attitude, and if people stared at me, wouldn't be really nice. I would reply with certain swear words, but
You can use them
you
on this time.
know, sometimes being quite rude, really, and I
No.
wasn't the most friendliest person. Do you know what I mean? I had my friends, but then this spiritual journey started to happen, and it's just strange to what I do now,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And now I'm sure growing up and even up to this day, people ask you very interesting questions. What is the most interesting questions like that somebody has asked you, and not just
Uh,
private? It's kind of like, how do you? It's like,
do you mean as in how I do
well, how
things,
you can,
or
yeah, how is it you can do things? How can you cook? How can do your hair?
right?
What is the stupidest question anyone's ever asked you?
Yeah, because you think when I do shows, people assume that Wayne does my hair and makeup, and I say no.
Oh God, no!
I do,
Never let a
you know,
man do your makeup.
no. When I used to talk about my disability, I used to go and do groups and talk about it.
Mhm.
People say, well, how do you pick up a kettle, and how do you go? It's what you do with your hands. I do with my feet. you
Yeah,
know. And I used to make very, very good designer cakes. I used to make crinoline dolls. So they had like big dresses, didn't they?
great.
And yeah, and I used to do all precise piping on their dresses. And people used to say they could never visualize me doing it until
Yeah,
you actually see, you know. Um, but yeah, I always wanted to try everything, and if it was something I thought, I'm not sure I can do, I'd always try and work a way that I could,
yeah,
So it's I still say my mum was the one that absolutely pushed me into doing everything the best I could.
this is the picture, and I'm guessing this is the latest picture with your mom, you and your mom. Whoop.
Yeah, that one, she absolutely loved. That was to do with a paper, you see, and they were doing a story about us, and she absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, because she was proud of her child, her daughter, who everybody kept saying, the doctors kept saying, no, from the beginning. They were saying they were naysayers, and it was like, look, this is my baby. She's grown up into a productive, amazing woman. So, do y'all, do y'all
Yeah,
thought otherwise? So,
that,
yeah,
So yeah, she pushed me through to the strong lady I am now. Um, and that spiritual journey. The strange thing that when I look back at being at school,
hmm
I never a holy person. I wouldn't sing in assembly. I wouldn't do any prayers. When I went to Lourdes, we went with a group, and there was a lot of disabled there, and they would go into churches, and I would not entertain anything like that. So I kind of thought, I wonder why, because in what I am now, what was the holy thing? What on earth was going on in my mind when I was younger?
Yeah.
Because at school, I got sent out one day at assembly when everybody was singing. Mrs. Harris stopped the piano and she told me to get out because I wouldn't sing. And I refused to do history at school as well. So it's so odd. What purpose of that? Because, you know, I am a very, very good connector to the spirit world. Although I still don't do prayers. When I do my shows, I
Yeah, but
open with music.
a lot of people, for a lot of people, prayers is like, the way I look at it. Religion is somebody else's belief. Spirituality is what we believe. I mean, I was raised a Catholic girl. I did the altar girl thing. I was like the first altar girl. I was the one clinging the chime before it was time to cling the chime, and I was playing with the bottles of water and what. It's like, dude, this is, you know. But there was parts of it that I enjoyed, because for me, it was the angels that were drawn on the ceiling, and the windows with the stained glass, and that was my thing. But prayers, I mean, I could say them, I could sing them, but it didn't have that, that feeling. But when you grew up, same thing. When you grow up, it's a different type of connection. So for me, I've learned to say that people will say to me, well, could you keep me in your prayers? I said, yeah, I'll have a conversation for you, not a problem. Because for me, it's not a prayer, it's a conversation.
No, yeah, and when my children started growing up, I then thought, you know what, I'm ready to allow this spiritual side to come in.
Yeah.
And it was a scary thing, really, because I'd loved reading the cards, but to actually start to have voices and strange things going on, but it just escalated once I started going into what I do. And obviously, I've been with Take a Break magazine for 17 years now. And of course, that, people then got to hear about me and know what I do. And now being a trance medium or a trance connector, that in itself is so strange, because to be able to sometimes speak like someone's loved one, that is amazing. I never promise it's going to happen. But when it does, and somebody hears their loved one's voice, you can't think, when I've listened back to the recordings, and I'm thinking, oh my God, so it's really weird with the spiritual side, because they seem when I want to do something, they seem to put me in the deep end straight away.
Yeah.
There's a question come up there. Do I answer that? It's got, has your ability come through?
Scott Stevenson in the chat room said, has your ability come through to your kids too? Do you have it?
Yeah, my eldest daughter, definitely, she doesn't want it, but I chose not to. I didn't want to see the people. I didn't want to see the spirits. I'd rather be a hearer. Because the reason I didn't want to keep seeing them is, when I do a show, a month before my show, I would get told to write messages down from the people that are from the loved ones. And one particular night, it was about 3 a.m, and I got up to go a wee, and I'm sitting on the loo, and I heard a voice say to me, "You haven't wrote my name down." And I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to see anybody on my landing. You haven't wrote my name down. I'm going to be at your show. And I'm thinking, oh, this is scary. But as soon as I write what they want me to write, they go away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and then I'm thinking, do I really keep wanting to have spirits wherever I go if I haven't written
Mhm.
their name down? It was so strange to go to a show and to give out a message, and somebody like thinking, how would you know that a
Yeah,
month before?
yeah.
A month before. But with my daughter,
I'm going to read this one quickly because it just sort of covers the both of us.
I
Mandy
know.
Masters is the best earth angel ever. She has given me so much comfort after I lost my 23-year-old son after a 7-year battle with cancer. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't met her. I've heard my son's voice when Mandy, was in trance. So incredible. She's an awesome lady. Love you, Mandy. Aww.
Oh, Jan, she's so lovely. Her son has come through many times, and you know, to help somebody, and I know Jan is she's such a lovely lady. To be able to do that, and for somebody to hear
Yeah.
their loved one's voice. So with my daughter, the elder one, she used to be able to see the spirit, actually see them. She didn't want it. I do believe when she allows it to come in, she's going to be a very good trance medium. With my younger daughter, she's had a go at little cards and crystals because
Mhm.
um, but both my girls wanted to just be mums, and they're both
It's like your mom.
carers. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're wonderful mums. They go out and look after their carers, so they go out and help people. So you know, and to do what I do at the moment, they're not interested. They're not
Well, in
interested.
time they may, and if not, have you noticed anything in your grandbabies? I know right now with this COVID-19 thing, we don't get to see much of our family, but
Yeah,
previously,
yeah.
have you noticed anything in the boys?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a couple of my grandsons that I think that they've got something. Um, when they were young, they used to, obviously they'd see me in the magazine, and they'd say, "Why are you in that? Why are you in that, Nan?" And like, "What do you do?" And I used to say, "Well, I talk to dead people," and they'd say, "Oh, no, we don't believe in that. It's rubbish." But
Mhm.
as they're getting older and they're actually seeing me work, it's
Yeah.
the trance. I think you see when I do trance, I can't speak any foreign language, right? I always say I'm just an Essex girl, and that's all I speak is Essex. But I have been in trance where I have spoke Chinese, I have spoke Polish, loads of different languages, and when I've heard them back on recordings, I just think that is so unreal. That is
Uh-huh.
so unreal because I can't speak that myself,
Yeah.
so and that I think also with my husband, he when I first started doing this, he thought it was a load of rubbish because most men do, they do think
Yeah.
it's a load of rubbish. But like he said, he knows I can't talk any other language.
Yeah.
And people will say to him, well, look, she told me this and this has happened, and she spoke like my mum or she spoke like my dad.
Mhm.
Um, There was one Christmas show, and this guy wanted his dad to come through, and I was in trance. Now, he hadn't heard his dad's voice for 16 years. And when I come out of trance, because I never know what I've said once I'm
Yeah.
out of trance, and he was crying, and I always worry. I think, oh my God, I don't want people to cry and be so upset. But he came over and he said, these are tears of joy. He said, I hadn't heard my father's voice for 16 years. So that, to me, well, yeah, he just couldn't believe it. He said it's the best Christmas present ever.
Oh,
So
nice. I just have to, Scott loves to make fun of me. So Scott Stevenson in the chat room said, Essex is a county in southeast England, Darlene. So it's like Scott,
I
he's
know.
talking about cheeky. That's cheeky. He's a Scot
Oh,
who lives in England, and it's okay. I'll message his wife later, and she'll smack him for me, so I'm good.
Oh, oh.
So, okay, you I know that one thing you created, and I'm trying to get my hands on them, is your card. You
Yes.
created a deck. Now,
Yeah.
your deck is not like anybody else's. Can you
No.
tell everybody a little bit about your deck?
Okay. Well, and they're not tarot cards either. I wanted, because in a pack of tarot cards, what are they? 78 cards, is it?
72, I
Loads.
think.
Is it 72? And I wanted just six cards. And I had this lady, I said to her, she was a fantastic artist, and I said to her, would you design me 6 cards? And in these cards, everybody that has a reading, they either want to know about money, moving, work, children.
Love.
So every card, I wanted a lot of detail in it. So that's what she done, and you do only need if say you was reading for somebody, you do only need 1 card,
Mhm.
and it will tell you loads of things.
Right.
And the people that are flocking in to have these now, I always say to them, the more you work with my cards, the more the spiritual side will follow, and it does.
Yeah.
But we'll have to get you a set scent, and we'll see what you think about
Oh,
them.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen them, like, on camera type of thing from a friend, and I'm like, "Ooh, I like it."
Yeah. And when I say I do crystal readings, I don't the crystals, they're really stones. Like there's many
Yeah.
meanings, isn't there? There's like rose quartz, onyx. I change it. My way I teach you to read is unique. What I do now, so if I send you my 6 cards, you will get 8 coloured stones now. And the way that I teach you to read from the stones, that's another unique way. Everybody that has my set, nobody can copy them, because there's no instruction book and everything is unique for you. But you'll understand this when I send you a set and
Okay.
go through it with you. You will see that it's so simple. But I've decided to also now do a different pack. I'm designing now. They're going to be more earthly.
Okay.
And I've got a dear friend. He's a fantastic photographer. And I'm going to be doing all different nature cards. I probably will have about 50. So this
Okay.
is a new pack that I'm working on. And this is, I want it to be all earthly.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I'm not going to rush it, because I've got to pick all the different pictures. I've got to pick the meanings to the picture. But again, it won't come with instructions, because I believe everybody who reads tarot should not read the book. A card should, whatever you see within a card, let the above tell you. Because what I try and say to people, if you bought a pack of tarot cards and you've got the book and you picked out, I don't know, the Ace of Clubs or something, or the Ace of Spades, whatever, and you read that meaning, then you got somebody else come in and you pick the same card, you'd be giving them the same meaning.
Yeah.
Understand? So to me, no one should have the book. They should put the book away and make the cards their own.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when you trust in the spirit above, I always call them the higher gods. They're the teachers. And believe me, they will tell you things. It's just having that confidence and believing, you know. You're always going to get skeptical people, always.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And it is sad, because I kind of think the way that I connect, when I do shows, I always ask people, who do they want to make their call to? I don't stand on stage and say, I've got your grandfather or your great-great-grandfather. I say, who would you like? It is harder because then you have to give certain validation. And I like to be able to pick up on maybe a conversation that they've had. It gives you validation that you've had your loved one around. So if somebody was traveling to my show and their loved one was sitting in the car with them listening to a conversation, that blows people's minds, because then they're going to think, how would she know?
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, to be able to give maybe a conversation or something that you've been doing, that's even better. You know, and I just think the more people believe in themselves, and you know, the skeptics can sometimes put a lot of people off. You know, you're always going to get them. You'll never change.
Yeah, exactly.
People. So, oh, there's somebody else here.
Yeah. Dear friend Jordy James, she's a medium down in Australia. Hopefully I got that right. She says, so true. The cards are a tool to help you connect with spirit.
Yeah,
They are.
definitely. But, you know, the way that because I've got my, down on the floor here, I've got my palm crystals. They're great big crystals. I don't know if I can get one and show you. Let me see if I can get it up and show you. Can you see that? See?
Ooh.
Yes. So, you know,
Nice.
when I do like a little reading for somebody, I put my foot in my little bag and my toes go around, and the above say that one.
Okay.
And that's how I read.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So if anybody has any questions for Mandy, please pop them into the chat room. Let us know. I'm not guaranteeing anything. If it works, it works. And if we have no answer for your question, then that's just too bad.
Somebody would like a crystal read, just tell me.
Sure, pull one for me. See what the crystals have for me.
Shall we? Let's
The mischievous hey Darcy, the mischievous hostess.
go. Okie doke then. Right. Okay. This is the one. So this is what I do. I just hold it in my toes, and then I ask what I'm going to give you. Okay. What I'm picking up with you at the moment, sometimes your mind is far too overloaded. Okay. And there's 3 pathways. The one that you're journeying on now, okay, there's two other. You haven't decided on them yet. Okay. I don't know, on here, there's a name on my stone. And that's another thing they do. They put a name. Do you connect with anybody called Kerry?
At the top of my head, no, perhaps, but I can't be sure.
On the earth, she's going to connect with you. And on my stone, the way they're writing it is Kerrie. So that name will later connect with you. They're telling me to take another crystal, so I'm going to take another one. And what I've got here, okay, this, I want to say, this is all about family as well.
Okay.
All right. And I don't want to go to the past. I don't want to talk about the past. And you know that saying, you can choose your friends, but not your family. Okay. Someone is going to have a few problems. And I don't always get too personal, because when you're going live, but someone's going to be asking you for some advice. And you have to be careful how you give this. There is a relationship problem, and they will be asking you. So I don't know whether you know about it at the moment, or whether you can understand this.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. I also want to give you the name Tracy. And so I don't know whether you connect with her at all.
I have a couple of Tracys in my life, so yeah.
Okay. I see some emotional things going on with a Tracy. All right. Now, I also am being told that with your home, you've got to decide, are you happy with your home? Or is there some things you're going to want to change? It's all talking about your home at the moment. All right. Okay. Another thing is next year in 2021, there is a stronger pathway for you. But you also have to make sure who you can trust,
Yeah.
who you want to journey on your pathway. Because something 2 years ago wasn't completely right with you. I don't know whether somebody wasn't right around you, whether there was problems. But your past door, you know certain people, your past door must stay closed.
Yeah.
Your journeys, remember there's 3 pathways. So the one you're on and the other 2, there's 2 different things that are going to come your way. Just be careful to who you have coming in on a new adventure. Okay? Got to make some decisions and use your gut feeling well.
I do listen to that.
Do you understand that?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. So that's just like a little basic. That's just like a little basic. I also, I'm going to take, I've got a lovely pack here. I'm not going to use mine. There's a pack of cards here, and I just mix them up. And I'm just going to take one for you, and I want to see what I'm getting for you. Right. This is all about your energies. This is all about, you know, like your first crystal, I said that your mind does get overloaded.
Yeah.
Who has the panic attacks?
Not me, but I know
Right.
who. Okay.
And are they close to you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because that's coming up really strong. Okay. And I also feel that you're going to have a friend. It's not family. You're going to have a friend that everything they want to do, it's like they make it a big problem. And sometimes you're going to think, you got to watch for their energies, because I feel their energies will pull you down. It's as if everything is a problem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, people's energies, you can absorb them. You can. You have also got to watch around the left side of your shoulder. You're going to have a little bit of a problem there.
Again.
And sometimes, so have you had a problem to the left?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah. And I'm also being told that sometimes when you can sleep, you just got to watch for roundabout, they're showing me about 20 to 3 in the morning. Now, I don't know whether you ever wake then, but that's the time they show me. Okay. I only pass what I hear, and I've got to say, how long have you been in your home?
10 years, I think.
Okay. And do you feel that home, is there anything you want to change with that home? Do you feel that's where you're going to be based forever?
No, I know I will be moving, but just not this year.
But the next move will be something so different.
Yeah.
So different. And again, they put the 3 paths in front of me. And there'll be something that you will want to do where I see that you're always going to be around public. You're always going to have people around you. Okay. But on that 3rd pathway, as time goes on, there will be something you do, like a retreat. There's something you're going to be doing. And it's all awaiting. That's what they say.
Cool. We'll talk one time when we're off air, and I'll give you a lot of confirmation to everything, because a lot of it's personal. Not that I don't love my guests and my people in my chat room. Some might know, but others are.
But did you understand?
Oh, yes, very much so. Okay. Scott says,
Yeah.
she's coming to the UK, Mandy. Yes, I will. When y'all let me cross the border, I'll be over to the UK. I have friends
Oh,
who keep saying they're going to put my picture at the border and say she's not allowed in. And of course, that's got to be a boy. So,
yeah. Yeah.
but
So
no,
just
that reading made a whole lot of sense. Thank you, sweetheart. I didn't expect that much. So, wow.
yeah, that's what I mean. So once I start getting into it, I just listen to what they're telling me,
Yeah.
and I pass it on to you. And the more that I believe they're doing good for me, the more they give me. And another thing, I think a lot of people say, "Oh, I'd love your gift. I'd love what you do." I always say that when you work,
Hmm.
always make some donation to a charity. And
Yeah.
people that know me know that I do. I don't, I'm not a greedy person. And when I do a good deed, in return, the above then give me a good deed
Yep.
and they take me higher.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know whether you've heard about my new meditation where I'm doing the cave of many asking.
Ooh, no, I haven't.
It is amazing. You see, I always get shown a vision. They show me a vision, and when they show me things, I think, oh, okay. So the cave of many askings, I got shown a vision of this cave, but outside the cave was a wizard, and I'm thinking, why would you have a wizard? There was a beach, and they told me I've got to get some guinea pigs. So as I do, I write on my Facebook who would like to come and try this, and yeah,
Oh,
I do get.
I use that word too.
What word do you like?
Guinea pig. When I
Guinea
first
pig.
started, I used to say to my husband, I said, I need a guinea pig. So cute.
So I did have quite a few, and I've got now a regular 8 of them now. They've been for 2 years doing the cave of many askings, and that wizard takes you into this cave, and you can do so much asking in there. But they
Mhm.
also open cave doors. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I used to do the Angel's Touch body read, and again, I got a vision of this. And what it was, I was in my workroom, and I was actually watching. It's like they get me to watch it. So I've got somebody laying out in my room,
Mhm.
and my feet are on their head, and I'm thinking, why on earth would I be placing my feet on someone's head? And they said, this is going to be a body read. So I was to get a guinea pig, and I was to try this body read. So I put on the Facebook who would like to try it. So loads of people. So what I do, I scroll down the names and they say choose that one. So I choose this young lady, didn't know her, and she come to my home. And when I laid her out and when I placed my toes on her head, I had some tranquil music. So as I'm moving my toes, I was then getting messages. It was like a head read.
Mhm.
Then they said, once she had relaxed and I was telling her what I was getting, they then said, you are to sit her up and you are to then do the feet. So I thought, okay. So I started to touch the feet and the ankles and the toes and done a reading there. And again, it was like, wow. But then they slowly put me into trance and Mother Earth spoke. And Mother Earth asked to read her palm. And honestly, the information from
Mhm.
this Mother Earth's voice. So these body reads were like an hour. And obviously, word got about. And I wanted to have a name. I said, what am I going to call these? And they said, them up there said, they're going to be called the Angel's Touch Body Read to the Future. Now, the girl that came, when I said to her, oh, the name's going to be the Angel's Touch, she said
Mhm.
to me, do you know what tattoo I've got on my back? And I said, no. Well, at the bottom where her trousers were, where the waist, in massive letters was angel. I was like, oh my God. So she
Nice.
was definitely meant to have that body read.
Yep.
But sometimes you see, I do get fed up. So I stopped doing them. I just, I do one thing, then think, oh, I'm bored of that. But they're all meant for reasons. They're all meant for reasons.
Exactly.
So, you know.
If you're drawn, Geordie James would like a reading if you're drawn to her.
Okay, Geordie. Is that her name, Geordie?
Yep, Geordie James.
So,
She's my little Aussie. One of my little Aussie friends.
Okay, so here I go. And so it's really sort of, I can only tell you because I can't get no response back. So I'll just tell you what I'm being given. Okay. Right. Okay. As I'm feeling on this crystal, with Geordie, I keep getting November.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that that's going to be a little bit of a stressful time for her. And she's got to make some decisions, but it'll be around about November. Now, I also keep picking up a little bit of depression. Now, because I can't talk with her, I don't know whether it's to do with herself or somebody she's worried about. But I'm going to take that crystal, okay? Does she connect with anybody called Jane? Is there anybody, Jane, that would connect with her?
As in Jane?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is part of her last name, so I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, it's not her last name.
Yeah.
This is name. The next crystal, somebody has got a very fiery...
She says yes, and it's somebody I know.
Okay. Someone's got a very fiery temper. And I want to say Geordie's got to be careful that she's going to be brought into something, and she's got to be careful. It's like I'm seeing two people, and somebody brings her into an argument. Now she has to be careful because I feel someone's doing some lying. She has to watch for this. Okay. Where did the Jane come in around her? Just somebody she knows? Is it a friend?
Okay, she doesn't know a Jane, but the depression is somebody that she knows that has the depression. But she at the moment there's no Jane near her.
Tell her to keep a hold of that. It's definitely not her last name. It's definitely a person.
There you go.
Okay. I also want to give her David as well. David. So whether she can connect, and David and the Jane are both David and Jane to the earth. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this year, obviously, loads of people have been stressed out, but I feel with Geordie, it's as if they say, tell her to close a door. Tell her to close the door and create a brand new thing. It's really strange because I keep seeing her, somebody wanting to team up with her. That's what I'm getting, teaming up. So I don't know whether she's understanding this. Will it work? Yes, if the two people don't get too bossy with each other. Two people have to be equal. So they're saying, yes, it would work. Okay.
She says she'll keep an eye out for the argument.
Yes, because really, I really do feel somebody is going to tell her a different story, and I'm hoping that she just steps back, because she could end up believing, oh, and David, yes.
It is a yes, and the team up is a yes.
Yeah. You know, she does need to study people a lot more. Okay. Now what they're showing me. Okay. I don't like it when I get initials and they're giving me the J, okay, but then I get K. I get J and K.
Okay.
I don't know what they'll be to her. All right. Okay. Has somebody spoke to her about separating?
Now that doesn't mean her husband and her, just in general.
No, not no.
Okay.
Has somebody spoke to her at all about separating?
Let's see. There's a couple of seconds delay here.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I timed it, and it's about an 11-second delay, but cool.
Oh. And this is where it's good that you can act, when I do go in live, to be able to actually speak to them.
Yeah. Well, it just gives me more incentive to hook up the system so that we can do call-ins. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And, to be able to make that call to heaven and to bring a loved one forward.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm hoping in just that little tiny, not this stage. Right. Now, whoever comes to her, okay, I get that close inner feeling. So I know it's someone close. Okay. Right, I type slowly. Well, Geordie, I actually type really fast with my tootsies.
Gotta do a video of Mandy typing with her tootsies.
Yeah, I have to say, because I did put it when I was doing my book, people wanted to see how I was typing. So I did do a little video of me typing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But anyway, just hopefully Geordie will hold on to that. Okay. But yeah, I felt that person who's coming to her is quite close. I've got the inner feeling. So I feel they're quite close. She just has to be careful on certain people around her. All right. But there's definitely a very good journey awaiting. And if she wants to be really successful, whoever's teaming up with her, they both can be bosses. They both can be bosses together.
Yeah.
Never bring in a third one, though. 3 don't work.
There you go. She says she's on her phone and she will pay attention.
Yeah. To have to see. But that where I went going live the other night, and the first person that come through, because they whoever comes through is the ones that are meant to have a reading with me. And this Margaret, she said I can talk about her. She won a reading from the magazine. Oh, look, thanks, Geordie. Oh, bless. So she got a reading from the magazine. And this was how amazing it was. When I phoned her and was doing her reading, the next thing, I'd slipped into a trance mode and her mum come through on the phone with her voice.
Wow.
She could not believe it, that there, 1 minute I'm talking to her and the next minute, it was her mum with voice. So anyway, she got through Friday night having a reading. And oh, thank you. And when I made that call to her mum, I said, like, your mum's giving me the name Peter, which was the brother. I got the name Jean, which was Peter's wife. And the mum said about Peter's having some strange things going on, which he is. He's having all these strange things. Spirit works strange ways, don't they?
Oh, yes.
Also, I said, there's another Peter. Well, Jean's got a son, Peter. And I kept picking up problems with his mouth. And at the time, Friday night, she said, oh, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, when she come off the phone, she obviously spoke to them. And, and I also picked up about somebody having a problem with their toe. And she said, oh, I don't know. I said, well, when that gets spoken about, I said, I know your mum will be with you then. And she wrote on my wall the other day that when she spoke to her brother, it was her sister that had the problem with the toe. Jean's son, Peter, has had a biopsy in his mouth. And her brother, Peter, was getting all these strange things happening. So for the mum to say things like that, do you know what I mean? And that's why I think if you can talk to the person, it works out a lot better, because I can make that live phone call to a loved one.
Exactly.
So it was good. Yeah.
It was good. Well, thank you very much. We're almost at the end of our show. Mandy will be back, so don't worry about the hey Christopher. So don't worry about it. We will have her back, and I'm going to try and figure out a way that we can do call-ins.
Yeah.
Going to test this out.
Because if you do that, we can make calls to heaven then, and I can talk to the person and go deeper.
And what I will try and do for you and a lot of my other UK friends, Scott, I'll try and make it a little earlier in the day, so it's not 10 o'clock at night.
It is a bit late, but Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
been
but no,
lovely.
you know what? It'll be fun. You know, it'll just be
Gone so
another show for me to do. It'll be fun. What the heck? I enjoy it. So
it's gone
everybody,
isn't it?
thank you very much for coming in and joining in the chat. Mandy, you are a doll. It was a great time. Thank you. I have taken notes on my reading.
Yes.
Um, and thank you for all of your friends that showed up. This was a blast. Um,
Oh,
and and Terrell Tracy says she'll watch the whole thing from the beginning tomorrow. She's also in the
oh,
UK, so she's
oh,
off
right.
to La La
Okay.
Land. See, like I said,
Oh,
I have a lot of UK friends that just so I have to make a daytime show for y'all.
yeah. And I just want everybody to stay safe, stay positive, and we'll get over all what's going on. But yeah, it's been lovely. It's been lovely chatting. I just think it always goes far too quick, far
It
too
does.
quick.
It does. It does. Anybody who wants to get a hold of you, they can find you on Facebook, Mandy
Yeah,
Masters.
yeah, they can.
And if you
And
can't find Mandy, just message me and I'll connect you with her Facebook page. It's not a problem. What I'll probably do is I'll put a link to your Facebook page in the show at the end when I can do, because I can't
okay,
do that here, but I will do it here. But Mandy Masters on Facebook, and you can just say you heard her on my show.
yeah.
All right,
Anyway,
everybody.
all right,
Good
lots of
night.
love.
Good
Yeah.
night. Good night,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Good.